The hate is real. The hate is real, Kathy. I see you hating on us from a mile away, Kathy Engelbert. We all see it. You out here trying to find Caitlin Clark. You out here finding the one person who's actually bringing money into this league. What a joke. You're mad that the Indiana Fever are here right now. Y'all didn't expect us to get this far.
The WNBA is once again under fire, raising questions about its leadership. This time, the controversy isn't about officiating, but something far more serious. The league decided to punish its biggest star, not for poor play or misconduct, but simply for voicing what countless fans already believe. A move that cuts deep across the sport.
Y'all really didn't expect. We got Sophie Cunningham exposing the whole league agenda. Exposing them. Caitlin Clark mocking them all on Twitter, all on Instagram, everywhere, because they are.
Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's once-in-a-generation guard who has transformed women's basketball, was fined $200 for a lighthearted social media joke about officiating. Think about that. The player responsible for sold-out arenas, surging TV ratings, and bringing the WNBA into mainstream conversation was penalized, not for a foul or misconduct, but for typing 4 words. Refs couldn't stop us. What do you think of the league's decision and its approach to officiating? Share your thoughts in the comments.
So during the game, we saw here, the Fever players celebrating. I would assume based on the reaction that this was after the Lexi Hull steal and everything. And Caitlin Clark on Instagram commented this: refs couldn't stop us. Elite bench mob. It wasn't for the lack of trying. Glad they're having fun and celebrating like no other teams. Will she get fined for saying that? Yeah, she got.
The timing makes little sense. Without their superstar dominating the floor, the Fever have advanced further in the postseason than in nearly a decade. They shocked the Las Vegas Aces in Game 1 of the semifinals, a stunning upset that electrified the league. You'd expect the WNBA to highlight that moment. Instead, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and her staff focused their attention on disciplining Caitlin Clark over an Instagram comment, missing a golden chance to celebrate the game.
When you're on the WNBA's time, or the NFL's time, or the NBA's time, when you're on their time, criticizing the officials, calling out the officiating, I've seen players get fined for that. But when you're on your own time, well, now, other than Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark seems to be the 2 players that come to my mind of players getting fined, criticizing the officials, doing it on their own time, quote unquote, off.
Think about it. Rather than celebrating grit, underdog victory, and the Fever rewriting history, league officials acted like hall monitors, patrolling Instagram for minor comments instead of spotlighting greatness.
Guys, today, Caitlin Clark got fined $200. Kathy, what do you think you are accomplishing by that? What kind of message do you think you're accomplishing by doing? You're not even making an example out of her by finding her an exorbitant amount of money. You are literally making a joke out of yourself by finding her such a
The league tried to make an example out of Caitlin Clark by handing her an unnecessary fine. Let's break down what actually happened. After the Fever's official account posted a photo of the bench celebrating a big win, Clark, still sidelined with a groin injury, but fully engaged with her teammates, dropped 2 light-hearted comments. The first read, "Elite bench mob." The second, "Refs couldn't stop us." That was it. 4 words, playful and in the spirit fans adore. 4 words echoing what every Fever supporter had shouted all season. And for that harmless humor, the league's response was fine.
What world do we live in? Like, I'm pretty sure she just said the refs can't stop them celebrating. This isn't even her going at refs. It's literally like if you say the word refs and you're an Indiana Fever player, you're going to get fined. If you say the word refs as a Fever player, the word referees has to be spoken, cannot be said by an Indiana Fever player, otherwise it's a fine. And the worst part is if they got fined for celebrating. So I don't think, only she got fined, not everybody. There's other people on the floor, everything. She's not, like, they're celebrating, the timeout's been called, or the foul's been called. It is what.
It's absurd. The league has overlooked cheap shots on Clark all season and ignored hard fouls that would be flagrant anywhere else. Yet suddenly, they discover their authority over a harmless social media joke. That's not accountability. It's hypocrisy in plain sight.
We know how this works because Sophie Cunningham has told us how this works. If you talk about the refereeing, if you talk about the officiating on the InstaFace, on the TikToks, on the Twitters, any of that social media, in the public, in the interview, if you mouth it in the shower, Kathy Engelbert will peek in and look around at you and point at you and be like, you're fined. Even though she won't clean up the officiating in her trash-ass league.
And here's where the absurdity reaches a new level. Caitlin Clark isn't even suiting up in these playoffs. Her second season ended after just 13 games, sidelined since July, while her teammates carried the torch. Yet, even while rehabbing and dealing with the frustration of not being able to play, she somehow landed in the league's crosshairs. What does that say? It shows the WNBA isn't just inconsistent with officiating. It's actively trying to silence the one player bold enough to call out Clark's response to the fine spoke volumes. She took to Twitter, posted a screenshot of her offense, and wrote, "Got fined $200 for this, LOL." She added laughing emojis and even promised that the Fever's bench would be louder in the next game. That's leadership in action, turning a slap on the wrist into fuel for her team. And of course, her peers jumped in. Sophie Cunningham lightened the mood with a jab of her own, joking that she started a GoFundMe to help Clark cover the league's massive financial penalty. Humor, resilience, and unity, qualities the WNBA should be amplifying, not punishing.
WNBA definitely got to play these women more. You got to play these women more. Because what the hell is a $200 fine? This picture right here is giving me mom-made pizza rolls vibes. Mom-made pizza rolls and everybody. Caitlin Clark was fined $200 for her comments she left on the IG post. She said refs couldn't stop us, meaning they advanced to the next round despite the refs trying to throw them a curveball every game, despite having to play against the refs. And the league said, "Oh hell nah, you gotta run me that. You gotta run me that 200. You got to run me that 200."
Here's the truth. Money was never the issue. Clark's WNBA base salary may sit around $80,000, but with multi-million-dollar endorsement deals from Nike, Gatorade, and nearly every major brand eager to align with the face of women's sports, $200 is nothing. For her, it's the equivalent of tossing a penny into a fountain. The sting isn't financial, it's symbolic. The league wasn't sending her a bill, it was sending her a message. Don't challenge us. But here's the kicker. That message backfired spectacularly. Instead of reinforcing authority, the fine revealed the WNBA's misplaced priorities. Rather than addressing the officiating crisis obvious to anyone watching this season, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert's office chose to punish the one player bold enough to acknowledge it. And let's be honest, Clark's comment wasn't remotely inappropriate. She didn't target a specific referee, didn't curse, didn't rant, and didn't directly insult the league. It wasn't personal. It was a witty, four-word observation that echoed what fans were already shouting from their couches. The Fever had overcome both the aces and the officiating. That isn't misconduct, it's common sense. Yet the league decided to turn common sense into controversy.
Sophie has got jokes. She retweeted this. That's really going to break the bank for her. Starting a GoFundMe now. Sophie, you got jokes. Hun, you got jokes. Sophie Cunningham Central, all donut.
Meanwhile, the problems Clark called out continued to rot the WNBA from the inside. Inconsistent whistles, blatant missed calls deciding games, and referees losing control to the point where every hard foul threatens to erupt into chaos. Players are fed up, coaches are frustrated, and fans are exhausted. Entire games have been derailed by officiating breakdowns. The infamous Fever vs. Sun matchup, which spiraled into 5 technicals and multiple ejections, stands as a glaring example. And yet, rather than addressing the real issue, the league is busy policing Instagram comments. The optics couldn't be worse. While Clark was being fined for a harmless joke, The Las Vegas Aces were celebrating Aya Wilson's 4th MVP award. The contrast is jarring. One of the league's most decorated veterans showered with praise, while the league's most popular player is punished for speaking a true fans already know. That isn't balance, it's a rigged narrative. This goes beyond Caitlin Clark. It cuts to the heart of what kind of league the WNBA aspires to be. Does it want to stand as a respected, professional sports league that accepts criticism and grows stronger from it? Or remain a fragile PR machine that silences its stars? Right now, Commissioner Angelbert's office is choosing the latter.
Rather than fining players for being excited on the bench and for letting it be known how trash the referees are, why don't you start fining referees for not calling fouls? Why don't you start putting that type of energy into making sure the game is played better? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Because that would be nice. That would be nice if you could do that.
Here's the reality. Caitlin Clark didn't damage the WNBA with 4 simple words. She exposed the truth. She gave fans a voice. By punishing her, the league only confirmed her point. The WNBA's response to criticism has become painfully predictable. Punish the whistleblowers, protect the system, and hope the outrage fades. Instead of addressing glaring officiating failures, the league targets anyone willing to speak out. Golden State assistant coach Natalie Nass learned that lesson after being fined for pointing out obvious bias. Indiana's own Stephanie White has spent the season calling out disrespectful, inconsistent refereeing. Even Las Vegas coach Becky Hammond, whose team often benefits from favorable whistles, has openly admitted that the quality of officiating across the league is embarrassing. That chorus of voices says more than any Instagram comment ever could.